We are back for another recipe this week. This week we're making Italian wedding soup. We're doing it all from scratch. All right. So I have most of everything that we need to do cut up already because I'm going to show you how I do the meatballs for this. All right. Let's run down some ingredients. Over here, we got the board set up where this half of the board is for the meatballs. This half of the board is basically for the soup, okay? So we're gonna, let's run this down. So we got some 80/20 over here. We got some ground up veal here, and we got some ground up pork over here. Each one, 3/4 of a pound. So 3/4 of a pound of ground pork, veal, and ground sausage. Over here, we got some stale Italian bread. That's how I make my meatballs. I do have another meatball recipe that is just consist of 80/20 ground beef, which are absolutely delicious. If you get a chance, go ahead and check that video out as well. But this here, we're doing the veal, pork, and beef for this one here, okay? Roughly about 6 ounces of Italian bread. Like I said, it's stale. That's just the way my grandmother always done it. So that's the way I do it. I do have some more bread standing by that's stale that I just don't have on the board. Okay, over here we got 2 eggs. We got 3 cloves of minced garlic up front here for the meatballs. We got some fresh grated Parmesan cheese and some fresh parsley. And we're going to do some salt and pepper in the meatballs as well. All right, let's move on to the soup. So the soup is going to consist of, we're going to use chicken broth. I use low sodium Swanson's. That's just my preferred thing, and taste test it. Came out fantastic if you research that. Over here we've got some Ancini di Secco pasta. We're going to use about a cup of this. We got about a medium minced up onion over here. Everything's cut the same size too, so they're very, I'll show you here. So they're all something like that. Okay, so the celery, the onions, and the carrots are all the same size, and the garlic. Okay, so over here we got like 1 large carrot, diced up, small dice, 2 stalks of celery over here, same way, and we have minced garlic over here, about 3 cloves, and I don't know if I said it or not, a medium onion over here. We got some olive oil because that's what we're going to fry our meatballs in. We're also going to use about a tablespoon roughly to saute some of these vegetables. Salt, pepper for the soup, and we got about a teaspoon of oregano. That's it. That's what this recipe consists of. You're going to need maybe 8-10 cups of chicken broth. Okay, that's the recipe. We're going to get going making the meatballs. We're going to show you how to do that. You guys like what I do here, go ahead and put a thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. Subscribe, share it, you know, all that kind of good stuff. And we're going to get going with this recipe. We're going to mix this up. We're going to show you exactly what we do. This is going to be a great soup. You guys know I make almost everything from scratch. So this is going to be a good recipe. And we got grandma's meatballs, so awesome, gonna be great. So the first thing I do, we're gonna run a little bit of cold water, and I know you guys might think this is weird, but like I said, this is a family thing. This is just what this is, and this is how we do it. A lot of Italians do this, so if you've never seen it done, this is your first time doing it, you got to try this. This is in my other meatball recipe as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our Italian bread, and we're just going to run it under water, okay, just like this till you get it nice and wet so it's very soggy. Okay, and then we're just going to turn around and we're going to break this up, right, like this, and we're just going to put it in the bowl. That's all we're going to do, and we're going to do that for the remaining of the bread. Okay, you want the bread super saturated. You do want to wring it out. You don't want all the water in there. Okay, I use the crust as well because I just like how that is in a meatball. Okay, and a lot of this is going to disintegrate once it's in the meatball. We find out that if we use breadcrumbs, you know, it makes the meatball pretty tight. So I think a meatball, I say this in my other videos too, I think a meatball should be soft. I don't think a meatball should be hard. They think that's just the way it is with me and my family. Maybe it's just the way I grew up, but anyways, that's what we do. That's what us Italians do, right? because I think you can screw a meatball up if they're too hard. You don't want it like a hamburger, right? So I urge you guys try this recipe. All right, so that's all we're going to do. We're going to keep moving along with this, and we're just going to keep wetting our bread down and pick it apart, put it in the bowl, and that's it. And then we'll take you to the other side. We'll start mixing all the meats up, and we'll show you what we're going to do. Trust me, great meatballs today. All right, so here we go. The first thing you want to do is what I would do right now, which I just did, is I would put some olive oil in I'm doing this in a cast iron skillet, but you can do it in a nonstick skillet if you want to. Go ahead and put your olive oil in there, turn it on, not, like low, just to get some heat into it. So when we're ready to fry these, that's ready to go. All right. You don't have to worry about the olive oil smoking. We're not going to get it that hot. The olive oil is great, the 350, 375 type thing. So you guys don't have to worry about that. So that's the deal with that. So we have our bread that we just got done wringing out. Now it's very important. So what we're going to do is we're going to break all this up, the ground beef, the veal, and the pork. Okay, so we're just going to break this up. Now it's maybe a little story time here. It's very important that you use Italian bread if you want your meatballs to come out like I'm making them. Okay, so if you use white bread, nothing against white bread, but if you're using white bread and you make these meatballs and you go, oh boy, I wasn't really a big fan of those, you have to use Italian bread. And that's just simple fact. If you turn around and why can't I do two things at the same time today? Okay, so if you use white bread, the texture of your meatball is going to be totally different, and the flavor is going to be completely off. So just make sure you use Italian bread. You guys that live in upstate New York here, I've been going there since I was a kid. We go to Bellinopoli to get our Italian bread. Family's been doing that for years. So if you guys are in upstate New York, head over to Bellinopoli. Yeah, get a loaf of bread. See what happens. You'll see that if you make meatballs, you'll see. All right, so this is pretty much incorporated. We got all the meats in there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bread that we wrang out. I know it sounds funny, doesn't it? That we wrang out our bread, but we did. All right, so, and this is as Italian as you can get. There is no more Italian than this. This is it. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take our eggs. I'm going to put 2 eggs in here. I have a garbage disposal. That's why you always see me turn around throwing stuff, because it goes into the sink and down the drain. All right, so there we go. 2 eggs are in. And we're going to, I usually do this, maybe just, I usually wash my hands in between. But what we're going to do now is we're going to put in our 3 cloves of finely minced garlic, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to put in, this is going to be about 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of parsley. Now I do have more standing by, just in case I need them. All right, and you gotta put a good cheese in. All right, this is about a cup, 3/4 of a cup to a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Okay, I'm going to hold off on the salt and pepper because hands are what they are. Okay, and then we're just going to mix. That's it. This is going to be our meatballs. Now you're going to have meat left over on this. Okay, so when you make, I'm only going to put about maybe 20 meatballs, small, very small meatballs, in our soup today. So I'll make 20 small meatballs, and the rest are going to be a little larger, like a regular meatball. Okay, and then we're going I might have a meatball sub later on. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. We're gonna keep mixing this. All right, so we're pretty much done mixing this up. So what we're going to do is I just want to show you guys how much salt I put in it. So we're going to put a little pinch of salt, about that much, and we are going to put a dash of black pepper. Okay, and then we're just going to mix this in, and I'll bring you back and we'll show you. We're going to roll some small meatballs, very small for this soup, not regular size. Okay, so let me get that done, and we'll see you in a second. Okay, so we are done mixing this up. Now, this is what your meatball mixture should look like. It should look something like that. Okay, so everything's well incorporated. I know some people think you're going to see the bread and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of just disintegrates inside of it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take very small amounts, because this is, I mean, like that amount, right? Little meatballs, little tiny meatballs. So I'll show you how I do it. You can see the size of the meatball to my finger. Okay, so we're just going to do like 20 of these, because I think that'd be plenty for the soup. Okay, so that's about how we're going to do them, just like that. All right, let me roll all these up, and we'll be back with you and start sauteing some vegetables. Actually, you know what? We're going to fry the meatballs first, then we're going to get the soup going. Okay, so our oil is all heated up. It's shimmering a little bit, and I just want to show you, I did 40 of them. So there's our little meatballs. Okay, so we got those, and we've got, which is going to go on a nice meatball sub. Yeah. I mean, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Got about 18 meatballs big and 40 small. So all we're going to do is we're going to drop these in. We're going to give it just a little bit more heat, not too much, because these are small. You don't want them to get crazy. All right, so we're going to drop all these in, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what these look like as soon as they're ready. All right, smells, my house is going to smell. I wish they made a I wish they made an air room freshener like this that smell like this. All right, anyways, enough of that. Yeah, we'll be back. All right, look at how awesome these look. Okay, so this is exactly how you want them. You want them golden brown, a little crust all the way around. Look at that. Cool. Imagine what it smells like in here. Yep, very good. Smells very good in here. All right, so we're going to take these small meatballs now, and I'm just using a slotted spoon only because these are so small. And we're going to stick these on a paper plate over here with some paper towel on them. Okay, and that's it. And we're just going to let them sit there, and we're going to drain these. And I'm going to take my other 24 regular size meatballs, and we're going to fry those up, but we're going to get going with the soup here, and we're going to show you how to do the soup part of this. Okay, so we'll be back in just a second, as soon as I get all these little meatballs out of my oil. All right, so let's start the soup. So the only thing I did here was I put about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of of olive oil in. Okay, and we're gonna just take our onions. We're gonna add our onions to this pot. Now this goes pretty quick here. We're just gonna saute these down and get these. Where's my spoon? There it is. Let's get a spoon. We're gonna get, just like starting any other soup. Any other soup that you make, it's pretty much all the same. You always put your onions in first. Not too much of a high heat. We're gonna saute these down just for a minute, and then we're gonna add the carrots and the celery, and we're gonna saute those down for a couple of minutes. We got our onions in here for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. They're just sweating them down right now because you got to remember we're still going to cook these. We're going to let this boil for, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes or so. All right, so now that we got our onions in, we're gonna put our carrots in, and we're going to put our celery in, and we're going to do the same thing with these. We're going to leave the garlic out for now because. Okay, because we don't want the garlic to burn. That's the reason. Now, if you think you need a little bit more oil at this time, go ahead. You can add just another drop if you want to, which I think I'm going to. Those meatballs came out fantastic, absolutely fantastic. All right, let's give this a little mix. Okay, and now we're gonna let this go for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna add the garlic. Right, this went on for another 2 minutes. This looks good. Everything's nice and sweated down. Beautiful. Now it's time to add the garlic, about 3 cloves. All right, very minced, by the way. Very, very minced, small minced. All right, and what we're going to do, my house smells so good. So we're just going to incorporate this in, and then, you know, number 1 rule when you smell garlic, don't burn it. But the rule is that when you smell it, you add something wet to it. Okay, so we're going to let that go for probably a minute or two. As soon as I start smelling it, we'll bring it back. We'll throw some chicken broth in here. Everything looks great. Everything's sweated down nice. The garlic, you can start smelling the garlic, so that's our cue to go ahead and add something wet because we don't want our garlic to burn. All right. Now you notice that I didn't season it yet. Usually I season veggies like this as I go along, but I'm not doing them. We're going to do that at the end. So right now, after all your veggies are done, turn your burner up to high, and we're gonna dump in about 8 cups of chicken stock, which would be 2 of these containers that I'm using here. Alright, now we might need more. I have another container, so we're not going to run out. It's all on how much really liquid that you guys want in your soup. We definitely are doing 2. Could do 3. But make sure you get that burner up high. Put another pot on for your pasta. Okay, so we're going to cook. I always cook my... Anytime I make anything like this, there's always a chance of me overcooking the pasta. Okay, I don't want to do that. So what I do, it's kind of foolproof, is what we do is we cook our pasta in another pot. Okay, and the reason for that is that it just gives me more control. You cook the pasta, it's done. You can strain it. You shut this off. And once this is shut off, the pasta is not going to cook anymore. Sometimes it's difficult to judge when the pasta is going to be done. You know, the box may say 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, right? You know, here or there. And by the time you turn the heat off, your pasta's overdone. I can't stand that. I like my pasta a certain way. That's why I do it in a separate pan. It gives me more control. All right, so we're going to bring this up to high. We're going to boil this up a little bit. About 10, maybe about 15 minutes, we're going to boil this up, back off the temperature, and then our soup's pretty much done. We're going to add the pasta to it. We're going to add the meatballs to it. A little bit of oregano, and that's it. Our water's boiling. We have our acini. We're going to dump this in, like I said, about a cup. All right, you don't need to put oil in that or anything like that. Just go ahead and dump it in and set your timer for about, well, I don't know what kind you guys are using. I'm using, what am I using? Dosecco. 9 minutes on the timer. Start. All right, see you in 9 minutes. So we're about halfway through our 12-minute simmer over here, and this here is what it looks like now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add that little bit of oregano. Okay, it's not much. It's only about a teaspoon. You can add it or you don't have to. That's totally up to you. I like to see the little bit of specks in it. Okay, so that's it for now. Another 6 minutes. We'll throw the lid back on. Our pasta's almost done on the other side, and we're just going to marry everything together. We're going to have some lunch today. Okay, so this has been going for about 15 minutes. We already tested it. All the vegetables are nice and tender, so what we're going to do is we're going to shut this off. Our pasta is almost ready on the other side. We're going to strain that. We're going to put everything together. All right, so we shut the burner off here, and we let this go for, I don't know, I'd let it rest for like 10 minutes, and the only reason why I did that was because I don't want to cook the pasta anymore. Okay, so we have our 40 little meatballs. We're gonna put our meatballs in, let them heat back up, get some flavor through this whole thing. Let them soften up just a little bit. And then, so here's how I do this. Okay, so I take the acini and I strain it into a fine mesh. I don't know if you can see that, very fine mesh strainer. Okay, instead of putting it directly in here, because I like to let this cool down. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this. We're going to add this to our soup. And this is the recipe, guys. This is pretty much about it. So we'll get all this in there, make a nice soup. It's got to be one of my favorite soups, and it looks very elegant as well, because the acini looks like little pieces of caviar, which they're not, obviously, but it looks like that. And then you wind up with such a beautiful soup here. We'll show you real quick, and then we'll take it over and we'll plate it up. I mean, this is what kind of like you're getting. Absolutely beautiful. That's a gorgeous soup. I hope you guys make this. Okay, so we're going to let this sit. We're going to let some flavors come together a little bit, and we're going to season it up. So we'll throw a little salt. Now this is all for your taste. So the way I like it might not be the way you like it, okay? So let's season this up. Get a nice hint of salt and pepper in there, and then we'll, all right. Oh, this smells so good. Good heavens, we're going to leave it just like that. We're going to give this 10 minutes on the stove by itself, and then we're going to plate this up. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, we are ready to plate this up. All right, let's see. Let's get this in here. So we're going to do this. I never posted a video in a clear bowl before, and the only reason why I'm going to do this is because I think this soup looks really elegant. So we're just gonna put this in a clear bowl today, so everybody can get the whole idea of what this looks like. All right. All right, so that is it. Clean up my my mess over here. Clean up the bowl, because I always make a mess, don't I? Seems like I'm always cleaning up at the last minute. All right, okay, guys, this is it. This is how we make my Italian wedding soup with homemade meatballs. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of a thumbnail here, and we'll be right back, and we're going to do a little bit of a taste test. All right, time for a taste test. I've been waiting for this all day long. All right. Let's see. Let's see. We get a little meatball in there. Let's see. Really, it's the little bit of oregano. The vegetables really are cooked perfect. I mean, let's see if I can give you a little close-up of that. I mean, that is really, really amazing. Very good soup. The pasta, perfect. Season this up on how you want to. Like more salt, more pepper, so on and so forth. Obviously help yourself to that. All right, that is it. This is what we did. Italian wedding soup today. How's that look? You guys got to make this. It's so awesome. It's great comfort food. It's all Italian, and most of all, it's delicious. Okay, if you guys like what I did here today with this soup, go ahead and put a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. That'd be great. Use a lot of subscribers. And share this with your friends. If you think somebody always wanted to make Italian wedding soup, didn't know how, we just walked you through all the directions on how to do this beautiful soup. And it plates well too. All right, so until the next video, until next week, I'm going to let everybody go. I'm going to grab this bowl. I'm going to go have my lunch, and we will see everybody in the next video. Everybody take care. It's a crazy world out there.